Jay here from Stretford, Paddock, and this is a one-on-one interview, and we're very pleased to have Florian Plettenberg, who's Sky Sports reporter from Germany, a transfer expert, who's with us. He's been on the channel before. Florian, thanks for coming back on. Great to see you again.
Thanks for the invitation. Nice to meet you again.
Nice to see you again. Obviously, what to ask you about Marcel Sabitzer. You were sort of ahead of this story when it broke on transfer deadline day. Just tell us a little bit about when you first heard it was going to happen and what you made of that, the fact that he was coming to Manchester United.
Yeah, as you can imagine, it was a really, really busy deadline day, and the information about Marcel Sabitzer and the first contact between his agent, Manchester United, and the FC Chelsea, it was our exclusive news on, I think it was on Tuesday afternoon. It was very, very surprising. Honestly, I didn't expect that at this stage, because usually the central midfield of Bayern Munich, you had 3 or 4 players, and you knew, in my opinion, you need them if you want to compete on Champions League level and the Bundesliga and the DFB Pokal. I got a very good information that Manchester United and Chelsea both have inquired about him on deadline day, because it was not quite clear what Chelsea will do with Enzo Fernandez if they get the green light. And Jorginho, at this stage, he was moving to Arsenal. And Manchester United, we heard about the information that Eriksen is out for, I think, 3 months. And then my second thought was, that makes sense. And in the next minutes after the first exclusive information, I got the confirmation from other sources that it was very, very hot. And then I got the information that Manchester United is in the pole position.
Yes, I saw you on Sky Sports giving us updates, keeping us updated with what was going on. What do you think he'll bring to this Manchester United team? Because he's obviously a very talented footballer. How do you see him fitting in, and what will he bring? What sort of attributes has he got that can benefit Manchester United?
First of all, you have to say he's top fit. He can play on Saturday, I think, against Crystal Palace. I think that he will be in the squad. Maybe he's a starter. He's a very good character, a very quiet character. He's not a loudspeaker type of guy. He's not a guy you will hear that he's critical toward the coach or towards other team members. He's an Austrian national, but he was very polite. As I said, very, very quiet, but also very popular within the locker room of Bayern Munich. He's a player. He's a very serious player. He's not that player he's not that spectacular player. He's playing very secure, very hard. He's physically strong. He's not the tallest, but he's in a good shape. He has a good feeling for the right ball, for the right pass in the right situation. You can't expect 5 or 6 goals from him. He's not that box-to-box midfielder. If you would compare him to Leon Goretzka, if he's fit, he's the number 6. He's a holding 6. He's the number 8, and that's it.
I'll just like to ask you about that, his best position, because he seems to be able to play in a number of positions. Where do you feel his best position is? Would you say it is as a 6 or was it as an 8?
Well, there are 2 Marcel Sabitzers. The one was very, very good in RB Leipzig. He played regularly. He played at the 6, at the 8. I think he was also an attacking midfielder sometimes. He's very versatile. He can play a lot of positions in the midfield. You can also put him as a right wing, but that's not his favorite position. To my mind, his best position is in the central midfield as a holding 6 with a clear strategy behind maybe Fernandes or Eriksen, if we will come back one day, maybe next to Casemiro, and you will see he's not making any faults. He has a lot of right decisions in his gameplay, and that's his very, very good strength. But he had the problem at Bayern Munich, and honestly, that was clear when he moved to Bayern Munich. It's very, very hard to become a starter at Bayern Munich if you have to compete with Joshua Kimmich and it's also a political thing. Joshua Kimmich is playing every match. Then Leon Goretzka is playing every match when he's already fit. And then Bayern Munich bought Ryan Gravenberch from Ajax Amsterdam. It's also a very political transfer within the club because he's very high rated, very talented, and he's a player Hasan Salihamidzic is very, very close and keep an eye on. So they want to push Ryan Gravenberch. So at this moment, on Monday, Marcel Sabitzer was player number 4 in the central midfield of Bayern. So his move to Bayern Munich, to Manchester United is making absolutely sense.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because, I mean, you said it there, it's almost political. Should United fans be concerned at all that he wasn't a regular for Bayern Munich? Is that any reason why you should be worried about whether he's good enough, or, you know, because he's got such good players in front of him, is it almost irrelevant?
No. You need not to be concerned. Honestly, and that's my honestly opinion, Manchester United can be excited about that transfer. It's a very, very, very strategic and a very, very good transfer. He has the potential to become a regular starter at Manchester United, and I'm totally convinced that he will improve Manchester United if Erik ten Hag decides to let him play as a real number 6 or as a real number 8. He's a very sensitive player. He needs what's the right word? He needs the push from the coach. He needs the feeling that he's needed. And he's not that. He's a very smooth character. And so it's very, very important for him to have the feeling, okay, you are my player. You are the number 6. And if you compare that to Bayern Munich, it was a very strange situation. When Julian Nagelsmann came in summer 21, he said, okay, my first choice is Konrad Laimer. Hasan Salihamidzic, please, I want to have Konrad Laimer. And Leipzig rejected. And then Julian Nagelsmann said, okay, my second choice is Marcel Sabitzer. Hasan Salihamidzic, please do everything that we can transfer Marcel Sabitzer. And then they got the yes from RB Leipzig for a move of Marcel Sabitzer. And you can't forget, he was the captain of RB Leipzig. So he's a very, very strong leader. And then he moved to Bayern Munich. But as I said, it's a very competitive situation with Bayern Munich. And he was chanceless at this stage. But Manchester United, they get a very, very good and very professional player.
I just wanted to ask you quickly about sort of the man he's almost replacing, because he is coming in because Eriksen was injured. And one of Eriksen's best attributes is his passing. He's got, I think, the second most assists or something like that in the Premier League this season. His range of passing is extremely impressive. What's Sabitzer's passing like? Is he someone who can, we can expect to see picking out passes at Old Trafford? Is that a big part of his game? Absolutely.
Very secure passing player, very good cross balls. He has a good view on the pitch. But if you see it at Bayern Munich, 32 appearances in this season, 2 goals, 3 assists. He's not that guy for goals and for assists if you play with him very defensive. But I think Rio Ferdinand said it. I can only repeat myself. He's a very, very secure, safe player. Maybe a kind of Casemiro. He's underestimated, but he was at this stage not that player who could improve Bayern Munich, because at these positions, Bayern Munich has a very, very high quality.
Well, Casemiro's been an absolute revelation, if I can use that word, at Manchester United. I think we almost didn't realise how good he is. So to mention in the same breath is obviously something that gets me extremely excited. Just one final question I wanted to ask you, Florian. I know he's not someone who's prolific and gets lots of goals, but we've seen there's a lot of videos doing the rounds of some of the goals he scored, which are quite spectacular. He does seem to have an eye for when he does score goals. He can score some pretty impressive goals.
Sure, but you have to answer yourself if you want to see some spectacular goals or the secure goals. So, as I said, Marcel Sabitzer, he's not that guy for spectacular situations, and he's absolutely able to score goals. And I'm convinced that he will score goals for Manchester United as well. But you will see that he's a player who needs 90 minutes, 90 minutes, 90 minutes. He's not that player who's getting in the 70 minutes or when the match is almost done. That's not his gameplay. He's not that joker guy. He's the player who have to be there from the first minute, and that's very, very important for him. So, but I was convinced that there is no mandatory option to buy him or no normal option to buy, because there's a straight loan to our information. But I was convinced that Manchester United has the possibility to buy him in summer, and I am convinced that there is anywhere in the contract the possibility to sign him permanent in summer, because Marcel Sabitzer, you have to be honest, he has no future at Bayern Munich, because Bayern Munich, they will sign Konrad Laimer in the next 3 or 4 months. That's my secure information. He will pass his medical in the next weeks and he will sign a contract as a free agent for Bayern Munich. And Konrad Laimer and Marcel Sabitzer, both Austrian national, they are very close to each other. They are friends. But Laimer will come to Bayern Munich, and Marcel Sabitzer, I'm totally convinced that he will leave Bayern Munich on a permanent deal in summer, and maybe he will sign a permanent deal with Manchester United. United right now for Marcel Sabitzer is a very, very good step and a very big chance for all parties.
So, despite the fact there's nothing officially where it's saying, you know, there's an option to buy, you wouldn't be surprised that if he does impress, as we hope he will do at Manchester United, that he could end up being a permanent fixture here next season?
Maybe you know his agent. His agent is Roger Wittmann, and he's one of the biggest and the most experienced agents in the world. And no one can tell me that this experienced agent is not having any option for the future, for the summer. So the officially version is straight loan, but Bayern, they need transfers in summer, because Bayern, they have big goals. Harry Kane is not from the table. It's not off for Bayern Munich, but I think they would like to sell players like Pavard, like Marcel Sabitzer, like Bunazar, maybe like Alexander Nübel. They need money, and Marcel Sabitzer, he's not that player Bayern totally needs in summer, because on the position he can play, Bayern has a very, very high quality.
Well, from what you've told me, I hope we do sign him permanently, because he sounds like he's the ideal player to play in this midfield, and I'm looking forward to seeing him. Hopefully, as you mentioned, against Crystal Palace this weekend, he might get his debut. I think we're going to wait and find out what's happening there. But yeah, it sounds like we've got a real talented player there, and I look forward to seeing him. Florian, it's always a pleasure. Thanks again for coming on the channel. It's great chatting to you, and hopefully we can chat again in the summer, and who knows, there might be some more deals. Maybe it is a permanent deal in the summer for Marcel Sabitzer, and we can talk to you about that.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. So there you have it, Florian Plettenberg, the transfer German expert. He said it himself, using words like excited and Casemiro-like, I think he said at one point. I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to keep myself calm and not have too many expectations of Sabitzer, but it's difficult when you hear him being sort of praised like that by someone who's obviously watched him from his days at Leipzig and at Bayern Munich as well. So we'll see just how he fits into that Manchester United team, but from the sound of it, he should fit in very well. Big thanks to Florian Plettenberg. Always great to chat to him. Go and check him out. There's a link in the description. Check out his Twitter. He'll give you all the updates on what's happening in Germany as well. Make sure as well you are hitting like, share and subscribe. This has been a one-on-one interview. I've been Jay Motti. Thanks for watching.